Hello, welcome back. Today, 5 decision-making activities for training sessions and for workshops. The activities we're going to talk about today are thinking hats, decision matrix, pre-mortem analysis, scenario planning, and dot voting. Let's take a look. Let's get started on activity number 1. This activity is called Thinking Hats, and it's designed to stop groups from jumping straight to opinions or getting stuck in one way of thinking. So each hat represents a different perspective, and the key rule is that everyone is going to use the same hat at the same time. So we're not going to debate things, we're going to explore. So you can start by clearly defining the decision that is going to be made. For example, which supplier should we choose? You might want to write that on the center of the board or on the slide. Then begin with the white hat. This is about facts and data. So you can ask, for example, what information do we actually have? What information is missing? So we don't want opinions, this is about the facts. Next is the red hat. This is about gut reactions. So you can ask a question such as, how does this option feel? So you don't have to explain or justify this, but they can give their gut opinions. Then the black hat, what are the risks and problems? What could go wrong? Then the yellow hat, what are the benefits and value? So you could ask, for example, what's working well here? The green hat is for ideas. So for this, you can ask things such as, how can we improve this? What alternatives haven't we considered? Finally, we've got the blue hat, and this is to summarize and decide on the next steps. So you can talk through these things as a group. You don't need physical hats. This is just a concept, to explain that there's 6 different things. And even going through 2 or 3 hats can dramatically improve the decision making. So you're taking people through these different stages, these 6 different stages, or just 2 or 3 if you only have a few minutes. Activity number 2 is the decision matrix. You might have seen something like this before or used something similar in the past in your personal life or for work. This activity helps groups move beyond just gut instinct by comparing the different options against agreed criteria. In fact, this is very good if you're booking a holiday or a vacation for yourself and working out what is the best place to go so that you can choose like the cost, facilities, etc. So really, really good for personal use as well. So you start by clearly defining the decision to be made and listing the available options across the top of the matrix. So next, ask the group to agree on the criteria that matters most, for example, cost, impact, feasibility, risk, or time required. And then for each option, together, you give a score. Use a simple scale such as 1 to 5, and with the highest score meaning it's a better fit. If some criteria are more important than the others, you can weight them by multiplying the score by a priority value. I won't go into that, but once all the scores are added up at the bottom, you compare the totals. But don't stop there. You can use the matrix as a conversion tool so you can ask where people disagreed on scores and why. So the goal isn't really to let the numbers make the decision for you, but to make assumptions visible and decisions more defensible. Activity number 3, pre-mortem analysis. Before finalizing a decision, this activity asks the group to imagine that the decision has already failed. Set the scene, ask participants to imagine it's several months in the future and that the project or decision did not succeed, it failed. So working silently at first, so individually, ask people to write down why it would have failed, what went wrong, which assumptions proved false, and what risks were underestimated. So they have to use their imagination, of course. After a few minutes, have participants share their ideas in smaller groups, let's say 3 or 4 people, and they can look for common patterns of the things that they came up with. Once the main failure points are identified, shift the focus. Ask, what could we now do to reduce these risks? Or what early warning signs should we have watched out for? The goal of this activity isn't about negativity, it's about improving decision making by surfacing, bringing up risk early before they turn into real problems. So they will have to use imagination, but this is a wonderful activity. Activity number 4, the best, worst, and most likely outcomes activity. So if you take a scenario such as employee training that took place or would take place, They have to write down the 5 best case scenarios and then the 5 most likely worst case scenarios and the 5 most likely outcomes. So for example, if it was, as we say, employee training, they might have written down as in small groups, high employee engagement, managers actively supporting the training, skills actually being learned, training being seen as valuable and worthwhile by everyone involved, and a clear return on investment within 6 to 12 months. That might be the list, for example, that people, the participants in the training workshop have written down as the most likely positive best case scenario outcomes. For the worst case scenarios, it could be, for example, there was poor attendance, poor completion rates, managers were not interested, employees thought it was a waste of time, it seemed like a waste of time and budget, and there's a lot of cynicism and lack of interest in future training. So that could be the worst case scenarios. Example for most likely outcomes, mixed engagement, managers supported it and some didn't. Skills improved for some people, it didn't for others, and the benefits took longer. So, that could be the 3 different slides. So I'm going to come up with these 3 different lists. You have to make a scenario as the training facilitator, but that's one example for training, workplace training. You can choose the scenario, whatever you want, and go through those things. Make them do those 3 different lists. They're going to come up with some great ideas at the end of writing all these ideas down. If you give them, say, 10, 15 minutes, small groups, they can share the ideas with the rest of the class. Great activity. That's activity number 4. Let's go to number 5. Dot voting. This is really a quick activity, a quick consensus. You can give 3 votes to each person in the classroom. It's a simple way to help a group reach a quick decision when there are lots of ideas on the table. So you might have been in a supermarket, for example, where they give you these little coins and you have to vote on which charity you would like their donations to go to. When the supermarket do a donation every month, this is the same concept. So first make all of the options available and visible. So on a slide, a flip chart, or on a whiteboard, give the person 3 votes. Then they put these 3 votes on one option, or they can spread them across different options. So they can put 1 on each if they're really not sure. They can put 2 on one and 1 on the other. Ask everyone to vote silently. They don't discuss it. This prevents the more influential people in the group, of course, influencing others. So once everyone has voted, look at all the dots on the cluster. The options with the most dots usually shows where the group's energy and agreement sits. Dot voting doesn't guarantee the perfect decision, but it's a great way of moving groups forward quickly when you're doing small consensus voting ideas. This is quite a simple idea, but you will find use for it in decision making. It's worth knowing about, very handy. Let's go to the final slide and let's have some final thoughts. Below this video, if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to leave a link to the 12 decision making activities, because I've got 12 on one of the blog posts on simmonsresearch.com. There are also decision making training materials, and do also look out for the decision making micro learning materials that will be going live too. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Videos every Friday at GMT 3 p.m. Please do subscribe. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much.